Expertise. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Ron. And were you aware that there's an International Podcast Day?
I am not aware of many things.
I found this out on Twitter. And we have a podcast. And it's an International Podcast Day.
We have a podcast?
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, you wouldn't know since no one listens, but...
Well, why am I not being paid?
Right? We're doing this all wrong. But no, apparently there's an International Podcast Day. It's actually today, and the shame of it is we'll be posting tomorrow because we're recording today.
In true expletive fashion.
But, hey, we got to celebrate International Podcast Day the only way we can. Yay!
Yay! Yay for mediocre podcasts the world over.
Exactly.
All right, so hey, we can talk about. We can start off with a little plug. Actually, we just did our first 2 Let's Plays of Dark Souls. Ron, how do you feel? How much does your ass hurt right now?
It's throbbing a little bit.
What hurts more, your ass or your pride?
Well, I'm used to getting raped by games, so probably my pride just a little bit.
Yeah. Dark Souls is not nice, but it was a lot of fun.
I couldn't get The Witcher out of my head. The Witcher controls, the gameplay and stuff so similar. I would try to do something from Witcher.
Yeah, it's they're both like really nuanced, and there's a learning curve. Like once you get it, you're like
there was no fucking learning curve.
Ron had a learning stumbling block.
Yeah. Learning brick wall.
Learning death.
But no, near the end of the second one, though, you and I both started getting kind of quiet because you had played before, and it started getting impressive to me. So you were focused on what you were doing, and you were just like what you were doing.
You pulled out your popcorn bag. Yeah. See, the unfortunate thing is I'll look really good for that like 15-minute stretch and then just fall off the side of a cliff. That's going to be the story of that game. But yeah, we're going to get over to the movie news section of today's episode, and I'm just going to first of all start off by saying this was a really slow news week, so we're scraping bottom of the barrel. But what is our first news story of the day, Ron?
Something that wanted to make me jump off of a cliff. We've got another anime movie announcement. It seems that's going to be the direction Hollywood's going now. But reportedly, Warner Brothers, so at least they've got the money to put into it, is wanting to do a film adaptation of Death Note. You are not familiar with Death Note. Well, you're familiar with it, but you have not seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
And all my familiarity with it is because you told me what it's about.
In like 2 text messages.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I want to see it, but I already don't like the direction it's going. But I guess Nat Wolff is his name. He's in final negotiations for the lead in the movie. The lead's name is actually in the anime and in the manga like Light Yagami. God, I can't fucking talk. We did too much Dark Souls.
Too much screaming and running for our lives.
Light Yagami, and the reason they're just all calling him the lead is because everybody feels like most likely he's not going to be called Light Yagami. He's
going to be called Joe.
Yeah, basically. Jerry. So yeah. They killed Jerry, sorry. I've still got the Let's Play in my head. We literally just came off of that. So here's something else. You notice this little bit that I highlighted. Apparently, Jeremy Slater is one of the screenwriters, and he's most notably known at the moment for Fantastic Four.
Poor bastard.
So
wait, okay. What was this? This is Nerdist, right?
Yes, Nerd Tits.
They need to they need to be shut down. This is false reporting. Fantastic Four had no script. I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they clearly don't know what's going on. But yeah. So that's it. If you don't know Nat Wolff, I guess right now at the moment he's most known for Paper Towns and The Fault in Our Stars. I don't know about Paper Towns. I never saw it, but I know he was the lead in Fault in Our Stars. Also never saw it, but
I haven't either.
So
equipped to talk about shit as always.
Yep. So that's really all I've got to say about that. I've got mixed emotions about it.
I think
it's going to depend on who they cast for L, I think.
Okay.
Because L is kind of like I don't want to say he's a Sherlock Holmes type character, but he's that kind of like detective private eye thing. He's the same age, which should be like high school, college age as Light, and he's trying to take down all these murders that he feels there's something strange about them, and it's because Light's writing their name in the fucking death note is what is, getting his attention. And when he starts getting close, Light, at some point in the anime, writes L in the death note, and nothing happens because it's not his real fucking name. So he's like the one person that can stop him because he doesn't know his name.
So, okay, don't spoil anything for me, but the infamous looking weird creature thing?
Yes.
Is that a specific villain, or did they just have Bleach, just random enemies?
No, it's attached to the Death Note. It's the guy that gives him the Death Note.
Okay. All right.
And that's kind of how that demon feeds, more or less.
Okay.
He's got to write someone's name.
I like just from the little you described, but it sounds really cool. I want to watch it.
Yeah, I really like it because it explores a lot, because he's like a law student wanting to become basically our equivalent of the DA or something. And once he gets the Death Note, he becomes basically Judge Dredd. He's judge, jury, and executioner. And he just starts doing his own thing. And then when people start getting in his way or whatever, he starts, corrupting himself. And
yeah, it sounds right up my alley. I need to.
It's really.
It's like
cool.
the one anime I want to watch. You don't own what? What the serious fuck, Ron?
I need to get it. I never seen past this first season, and from what I have seen past the first season, like in screenshots and articles and stuff, there's 3 of those fucking things out there, and 3 different Death Notes and stuff.
I always thought this was like a Bebop 26 episode and done thing, so it's continuous.
Yeah, I don't know how many seasons there are, but I watched the entire first season on Adult Swim. And then I don't remember if they dropped it or I dropped Adult Swim. I don't remember how late on Adult Swim's run that was. But yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. I need to get my hands on it.
Yeah, I once you do, because I'm not going to pay for it because I'm poor. Once you get it, I will watch it.
Speaking of things we may be interested in, John Goodman is joining the cast of King Kong Skull Island.
I love me some John Goodman.
So yeah, he's pretty good, man.
Do they have a vague plot line of what they're doing with King Kong? Because when was the last one? Was the Peter Jackson one, right? Which is now freaking 13 years ago, something like that.
Yes, it's forever. Supposed to take place sometime after Godzilla. Because I think it's after this one, Godzilla and King Kong meet up, or it might be one more, and then Godzilla and King Kong meet up. But this is supposed to be starting to lead into Godzilla versus King Kong.
So we have their version of the Avengers going on?
Yeah, from the article, it's not clear if they're against each other, with each other, or both. If they start out against each other and then something else happens and they both take down. Which honestly, I feel like that's the way it's going to go. Because if I remember correctly, in the original Godzilla versus King Kong won because it was America versus Japan. And King Kong won, which honestly, fire-breathing lizard versus giant monkey, I think fire-breathing lizard's going to win. But
especially when fire-breathing lizard is capable of destroying multiple other gigantic alien creatures at the same time. What the fuck's the monkey gonna do?
Yeah, so I don't know.
You want to know how they could really sell me on this? We need to sign up this big contract where we just how everyone has their own universe.
That's what they're doing.
Let's combine all the universes. I want to watch the Hulk fight Godzilla, and then I'm on board.
I think that would be actually just send the Avengers in against Godzilla. Actually, I'd really like to see that. No, apparently I hadn't looked up much about this movie, so I took this opportunity to highlight quite a few things on Slash Film, is the article I'm looking at. Jordan Vo Roberts, which I'm not familiar with, and it doesn't. Everyone else it puts in there what they may or may not be known from, but this article does not mention him. But John Goodman, Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson, John C. Reilly, and Toby Kebbell, I can't even fucking talk, Corey Hawkins, and Jason Mitchell is the cast.
Really good cast. I did notice that since Samuel L. Jackson and Tom Hiddleston are involved, it is going to be an Avengers team up, so I'm happy about it.
Nick Fury and Loki.
If I'm not mistaken, Toby Kebbell is... do you remember that episode of Black Mirror where I told you it was the one where they have like the instant memory recognition thing.
Yes.
The guy who ended up being Dr. Doom. I think that's Toby Kebbell, if I'm not getting his name.
Is that the main guy in that?
Husband? Yeah. And we talked about how like it was a waste of opportunity because that guy is a good actor, and he could have been a good Dr. Doom if he didn't get fucked over by that movie.
According to the article on Slash Film, Goodman will play a government official named Randa, who leads an expedition. It's set in the 1970s. Kong Skull Island centers on a man, which is Tom Hiddleston, who brings a rescue team to a mysterious creature-laden island in search of his brother, who got stranded there while trying to retrieve a mythical cure-all serum. So basically he's after Mirakuru, and it's...
Where's Deathstroke?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here's what I was pulling out of my ass earlier, right here in print. Kong Skull Island is envisioned as the first in a 3-film series that will bring together King Kong and Godzilla. So,
it could work, but I do get irritated by everything's got to have a universe.
Well, okay, here's the thing. King Kong, never been all that interested in. Godzilla, I always loved. I've watched a ton of Godzilla in my life.
The Peter Jackson King Kong, that was an awesome movie for the last 10 minutes, which had actually happened.
Yeah, I know. See, then I had to screen that one. And that one, it threw on me on top of it. But what was really fun was the fact that it was like 3 or 3.5 hours.
Of nothing.
Nothing happens. Nothing but Jack Black in my face.
Nothing happens for like an hour and 45 minutes in that movie.
Yeah, so...
And then like something happens, and then like 30 minutes, nothing happens.
Yeah, that movie could have been 90 minutes long.
And you had been stretching...
Yeah. So,
hey, Elliot. You know, it was boring, but at least in their runtime, we saw more King Kong than we did fucking Godzilla in the new one.
It's true, and what you did see of him, just like Godzilla, looked fucking fantastic. Because I remember at the time being blown away by the detail on him, because you could see like individual strands of fur and stuff.
I think it still holds up to today, actually, if you go back.
Now, what I am interested in is I don't think it's just King Kong. Because if you read here... Creature-laden island. Now, traditionally, the island King Kong's on is just King Kong. Now, in
creepy centipede shit, they had that in the Peter Jackson one.
And in Godzilla, we thought we were just gonna have human versus Godzilla, and we ended up getting a Mothra reference and 2 other monsters versus him.
No, we ended up getting boring human subplots while Godzilla stuff happened off screen.
We didn't get much, but what we did get was a Mothra reference and 2 creatures when the trailers only ever showed Godzilla himself and humans. And it turns out the whole movie was humans. But
that movie had so much potential.
I know.
What a waste.
And I'm very curious what creatures are going to be on this creature-laden island.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I look at Godzilla's okay when he's used correctly, which he wasn't in the most previous one. But anytime now, when I hear shit about Godzilla and King Kong, I'm just like, fuck that. Put that money towards Pacific Rim.
Seriously,
when you can have giant freaking mechs and those mechs having gigantic fuck off mech swords fighting gigantic aliens, like that is just so much more interesting to me than like, hey, it's King Kong, he's chilling on his island, Loki's there, good times.
Good times ensued. Yeah,
I talk shit, I'll still watch it. I mean, if for anything else,
it's a monster
movie. It's got Loki in it. I like Tom Hiddleston, I'll watch it.
And John Goodman.
And Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. So.
Dude, can we have a Deep Blue Sea moment where he gets like eaten by King Kong?
I feel like that's going to be in there for some reason. Just because we haven't seen that in a while. You know?
We need more. If every movie...
I want to see King Kong rip him in half or something.
If every movie had a Samuel Jackson Deep Blue Sea reference, I'd be perfectly okay with that.
So, speaking of references, I guess...
That works.
Jeff, I don't even know. I don't even think I'm seeing this movie anymore.
You're gonna see it.
I don't know, because I just found out she's in it.
You just now... She was casted that like a year and a half ago.
I don't know their names.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
How did you... She was like the first person cast in this movie, Ron.
I don't know her name. I saw her picture and was like, oh, fuck off.
Apparently let's first of all back up a little bit. We're talking about the new Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Filmbusters in our notes.
Okay, Melissa McCarthy, was it Bridesmaids? That's the one that everyone loves her for. I still haven't seen, so I'm kind of ill-equipped to even talk about her.
I don't know. I try to avoid her at all costs. So
I will say,
is she the same one of the idiot robbing the diner and like stealing the pie and stuff?
I don't even know what you're talking about. You're speaking Chinese.
Okay.
She is the one in, I believe, the one with Jason Bateman where she like steals his identity or something.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly who I'm thinking of. So yeah, no, fuck that. Not seeing it.
All of the
I mean,
okay.
It's got two really hot chicks in it too, but
she's probably really funny in Bridesmaids, but since I haven't seen it, and all I really see of her are her current trailers, like that one, and there's the one where she's a cop with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
And then all they do in the trailers is show her being like, female Will Ferrell, and it's just kind of annoying.
I can't. I
You're
can't
still gonna
stomach
see
that.
You're
I can't stomach that.
It's Ghostbusters. You're still going to see it. If for anything, you're going to watch it so we can bitch about it on this podcast.
I hate when duty calls like that. So Sigourney Weaver is now joining the list of people such as Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson of the original cast to make appearances. No one knows what capacity. No one knows if she's just a bit role, if she plays a major part.
The only one of them I see not being a cameo is Dan Aykroyd, because what else is Dan Aykroyd going to do?
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing these days.
I saw him in a Coneheads commercial.
Yeah, the Jake from State Farm one they redid as Coneheads.
That's the first time I had seen Dan Aykroyd in anything in like 12 years, I'm pretty sure.
No, he must like own a production company and just doing that behind the lines. Or
he's using all of his leftover Ghostbusters money to just have lots and lots of blow and hookers surrounding him at all times.
So, yeah, but if you don't know, it stars Melissa McCarthy, Kristen Wiig, Kate
I love
McKinnon,
Kristen Wiig. Kristen Wiig's funny.
Leslie Jones, and Chris Hemsworth as the secretary.
I'm completely unfamiliar with Kate McKinnon and Leslie Jones. I've never seen them in anything. I mean, obviously everyone loves Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All I know is there you go, Jeff.
I'm gonna be honest. I like Ghostbusters, but I've never been able to get as obsessed with it as everyone else seems to be. So if this,
I fucking love Ghostbusters, and I have not liked a damn thing I've heard about this.
I really like the first Ghostbusters. I still think it is probably it's also. I didn't watch it back in the day. I don't have like a nostalgia factor going for it at all. So I just saw it for, itself. Yeah. And it's a perfectly fine movie, but I don't get the obsession behind it personally. I
saw it as a child, so
yeah, you have the perfect setup for it to love it forever,
and everyone that likes crushing it.
Everyone that likes Ghostbusters seems to be obsessed with Ghostbusters. So, well, you know what's going to happen is this movie, because it has Ghostbusters in the title, is going to make a shit ton of money. You're going to get 3 or 4 of these.
I know it's going to be awful.
Yeah.
So we'll see. This next article is you probably know more about it than I do. But we have a rumor surrounding the next James Bond. This, though, it should be pointed out, was first reported by The Mirror, which is basically the UK version of TMZ. So odds are it's probably false.
When you're compared to TMZ, you need to reevaluate your business.
Yeah. Well, no, that's how they make their money.
Yeah, touche.
But
I value old school concepts like journalistic integrity, and that is...
Oh, dude, that hasn't existed for years now.
That is an oxymoron now.
Yes. But yeah, it looks like we may have our next James Bond after Daniel Craig retires, because he has more or less said that, this is definitely his last one.
This hit a little close to home, because I don't know if you know this, Ron.
I see what you did there.
I also tried out for James Bond. They told me I was too street. It was just not meant to be.
Yeah, I guess since he's ginger, he's not too street. I don't know. But Damian Lewis from Homeland, that's why I said I see what you did there. Yeah, I don't know. I've never watched anything with him in it.
Okay. Damian Lewis is currently most famous for Homeland, which is a really good show that I am, like everything else, a couple seasons behind on.
All I know is it has the princess from the Super Mario Brothers movie in it, and that's all I know about it.
He's the lead in, oh god, what's her name?
The princess from the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Marina Baccarin from Firefly, she's his wife in it.
Oh, yeah?
She's very good in it. What I know Damian Lewis from is, I'm assuming you didn't because you weren't really familiar with him, but did you ever hear of the show Life?
No.
Life was...
I know the game.
It lasted a couple of seasons. He was the lead. It was a fantastic show. And you know me, I do not watch like cop procedurals even a little bit at all. But it was one of those, but it had an interesting hook to it. He was a cop who had been falsely sentenced, served about 20 years in prison before evidence pops up that, allows him to be released. So he's playing this character who gets to go back to be a detective after he's basically been beaten down, literally and mentally, in prison for like 15, 20 years.
Right.
And he's going to try and find who has framed him and put him in jail for all those years. It was a cool little... Because typically in those...
So it's basically the same plot as about half the movies and TV shows ever made out there, it sounds like.
It was just... The way that they did it, it's not something you typically see on like CBS or NBC. Usually they're CSI.
Yeah.
Usually they have no hook to it other than... Why the fuck does anyone watch CSI?
I don't know. It's Criminal Minds.
How many ways can we possibly kill a person? Yeah. They have had like 15 seasons of each CSI.
Yeah.
I think we've run out of ways to kill people. I'm getting off topic.
Yeah, it's the reality TV of cop shows, basically.
The other thing I know him from, though, which if you haven't seen, you definitely need to check out, is he is the lead in Band of Brothers. And he is freaking amazing in that show, too.
Okay.
He's one of those dudes where no matter what it is, he's good in it.
Now, the article on Nerd Tits also points out that if they were going to pick another James Bond, he's definitely the safest choice, and that they would also have liked to have seen Idris Elba.
I think everyone at this point, if it's not Idris Elba, they're setting up the next guy for failure, because everyone is practically begging them to just hurry up and cast Idris Elba.
So... And the article also points out something weird. I don't remember Daniel Craig taking any flack for being 007, but they said they wanted to know, since he's ginger, how much flack he's going to take when he starts out like Daniel Craig did. I remember everyone loving Daniel Craig immediately.
There's still a lot of people that do not okay, it's not Daniel Craig's fault. But a lot of people just got turned off because they're realistic. Well, relatively speaking.
Because he's not like Sean Connery with a jetpack?
Because they're not like... Because they're the polar opposite of the Brosnan ones. Like, the Brosnan ones were...
I fucking love the Brosnan ones.
I mean, I love them too, but they are batshit insanity.
Yeah.
So they went kind of, the polar opposite, which they should have, because we've seen... I think this is going to be like the 27th or 28th Bond movie. You've got like... Literally 20 ridiculous Bond films you can watch. I
did like this part of the article, and I'm going to read this directly. If this is true, Lewis's regeneration scene would likely be filmed for the Christmas special, and his official title would be The Seventh Bond. Or maybe I'm confusing two things.
Yeah, I read that too earlier today at work. They cracked me up.
I thought that was pretty good, and then they do another Doctor Who reference later. But
unfortunately for him, if this did happen, people would shit on it because they want Idris Elba, but in a microcosm, he would do a good job. It's just he's not the Bond people want.
Yeah.
That's just the problem.
But he's the Bond that they deserve.
Let's not get into that.
Speaking of things that we're not going to be getting into anytime soon.
But we deserve
and want, and they're not going to get. I don't think it's ever going to happen, to be honest with you. Which... I want this next thing to happen, but because of the way the first one ended, I would be somewhat okay if it didn't. It didn't end off on a cliffhanger. It had an ending.
I would still be upset if we don't get it because we were getting way too much horse shit to not get good movies.
Yes. But it appears that Pacific Rim 2 is now back to being delayed. Like, it's postponed.
I thought it never was not... I thought this was kind of good news because they didn't officially cancel it yet.
It's still not canceled. They never did say that they were canceling it. Before, it was being postponed indefinitely, which most of the time means cancel, but really just means we're postponing it for we don't know how long. Most of the time, it just means we're shit canning it. But... what first happened, I think this is the third week we've reported on this now. The first time was, postponed indefinitely. Then Del Toro says, you may be postponing it, but I'm not. We're still working out the budget. We're still going to go start thinking about production later in the year, blah, 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 blah. Now even Del Toro has moved on to other projects, and it is
Warner Brothers yelled at me.
Yeah, basically. But Legendary and Universal has said that it is still alive, and that they want to do another 2, basically. But right now, they just don't know when they're going to work on it. Again, I said this last week. The issue that I have with this is, look at Sin City: A Dame to Kill For. That movie was a good movie. And it would have done a shit ton better had it not been 12 years since the first one.
I can't believe they waited that long on that movie.
Yeah, so...
Like you and me, when watched it at the theater, I think... Like 8 other people.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it went and watched it at the theater. Like it
was empty.
It made back the equivalent of like $8 in some Quiznos coupons. Like it was sad.
So, this you'll be glad to know, though, that the August 4th, 2017 release date for Pacific Rim 2 has not gone to waste. They had secured that date,
God.
So they went ahead and used it for Pitch Perfect 3 instead. So more Anna Kendrick, I guess.
Well,
that is her franchise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
We don't fucking watch movies.
I don't watch those movies.
Those movies.
I look at screenshots from them because she's in them, but I don't.
Anna Kendrick, I'll wait for you.
So yeah, that made me sad. It said in here there's an indie film that he's going to be working on instead. But
when the fuck does Del Toro sleep? It's like every 12 minutes there's like a new Del Toro project.
All the video games and TV shows and movies, I don't know. That guy's gonna die young, I think.
I think he's secretly like an android or something.
Yeah. Speaking of dying young, Men in Black.
What? Did you ever see the newest one? I never saw the newest one.
I never saw the newest one.
I liked Josh Brolin doing the Tommy Lee Jones impersonation. It looked pretty funny, but I still never saw the movie.
Yeah, I never saw the movie. They lost me after what's the one that that 9/11 postponed for like 2 years? Was that the second one? I guess
they've only done the 3, right? Or did they do another one?
I don't know. I the first one was good, but it wasn't good enough to merit a sequel. I didn't think, and then they did all kinds of shit.
It's a better.
Then they did a cartoon show, which I thought died early on. It did 4 seasons. That cartoon.
Men in Black has always been a better concept than they've been able to pair it with execution.
Well, here's one of the things why I was going to end up spending more than 2 minutes on it. That surprised me, and I should have highlighted it. But 21 Jump Street crossover they're considering.
What?
Yeah, that's not why this article made our notes, though. It made our notes because Will Smith said, "Nah, I don't want to do it," and they said, "Okay, fuck you, we're doing it anyway."
Why okay, wait, back up.
Yeah, I know.
Why? How does this in any way, shape, or form have anything to do with 21 Jump Street?
I have no idea. Because they want a universe.
I can argue Hulk versus Godzilla better than I can argue...
They want a universe, Jeff.
Oh my god.
This is where they're going to get it.
I'm about to rage quit movies. Why do we even fucking call it a movie theater anymore? We should just call it fucking adaptation theater, dude.
I don't know.
Or fucking bullshit universe theater. I'm fucking done with this.
Yeah, I don't know. Dude, that Mystery Science Theater would have to come back for that one if they did a crossover.
What would you even do?
I don't know.
And I love 21 Jump Street, and I like Men in Black. What the fuck would you do, though?
I don't know. I guess a giant cockroach has infiltrated the police station. I don't know.
I mean, if Jonah Hill was like an alien they had to kill, that'd be kind of cool.
I don't think they're gonna do that. But no,
they find out Channing Tatum is actually a gigantic gecko or something.
Yeah, and he's trying to sell everybody insurance, so they have to bust him. Yeah,
you know what would be an easier what was that movie with Jeff Bridges and R.I.P.D.?
Yeah.
That makes a hell of a lot, because that was just a Men in Black ripoff, you know?
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense.
And
to combine
also, since I've been saying this all night, that is also a Bleach ripoff.
Wait, R.I.P.D. is?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh yeah, I guess it is kind of. Now
and in the original Bleach, before the manga ever came out, the way he first did it never made it to print, but they used guns instead of swords.
Okay.
And then he changed it up and went to swords. So, yeah, R.I.P.D. is basically like the live-action movie, Bleach movie that everybody wants for some reason. They should not do it. That show has 366 episodes. They do not need to make a live-action movie off of it. That would be fucking terrible. But, anyways...
Fuck this story, moving on.
Well, it's also worth pointing out, I haven't said this yet, they're doing a trilogy.
Of course they are. Fuck this story, moving on.
Speaking of trilogies, Alien, Paradise Lost.
Okay, this is the Blomkamp one?
No. That would be Alien 5 is what its working title is right now.
Okay, what is this one then?
This one is Prometheus 2.
Oh, so I see they didn't take long to ditch the Prometheus name.
Right, and the reason is Ridley Scott said in this one, we're not only going to see a xenomorph, they're actually explaining the origins of the xenomorph. Is Michael
Fassbender in it?
He has worked out a way for him to get his body back, because at the end of the first one, he's just a head.
Spoilers.
Traveling. Spoilers. So
anyone listening to this, I'm pretty sure has seen the Alien prequel.
Yeah. So and they hated it because it's just you, me, and another guy from a podcast I listen to that like it, and Ridley Scott. Ridley Scott liked it so much he said, "Fuck all of you, I'm making the sequel anyway." So, but no. Sigourney Weaver.
I am totally unequipped to talk about this because I thought this was Alien 5. So I'm going to let you do the bulk of this one.
No. Basically, because of the original novel Paradise Lost.
I like the title. It's a cool title.
Yeah, he likes the original novel of Paradise Lost, and he's taking the concept of that book and applying it to aliens, more or less. And you get Alien, Paradise Lost.
You know what would make The Martian even better? Is if Matt Damon opens up his little hab thing he has, and fucking xenomorphs are there.
Right.
So it's like Matt Damon v. Mars v. xenomorphs.
I would be rooting for the xenomorphs, but...
Yeah, or Mars.
Or Mars. But yeah, no, here's the thing. Did you know that Prometheus was a play on the title also?
How so?
Do you know the story of Prometheus?
Yeah, gave fire to the mortals.
Yes, and that's the...
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the dude at the beginning. He like gives life to the planet. Was that what happened?
Yep.
Okay.
That's exactly it.
I like how I just now put that together. Like, when did that movie come out? Like 18 years ago? Yeah, I'm clever.
So, yeah, so this one, he has a big, long thing here. It goes into why he picked it, but, let's see if I can find... No, basically he's going to she's going to the planet of the engineers is basically all it is. But
I mean, like you said, I like Prometheus. They've got some dumb shit that happens in it, but it's not a bad movie.
Yeah. So
every movie, okay.
So, okay.
Side note, every movie has dumb shit.
Yes.
What pisses me off is when the internet gets on the hate train and then totally shreds a movie. I mean, if you get down to it, you can pick apart even the best of movies and then find flaws.
See, I was fine with it because I had seen, you know me, I watch like one really good trailer for something. I don't watch anymore. So I had no fucking clue it was supposed to be an Alien prequel.
See, what was funny is we went and saw it, and I thought everyone knew it was an Alien prequel, so we never even talked about it. So I'm sure when that xenomorph popped up, you were just like, "What?"
I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, I had no idea.
I wish I had not known because I think that would have been more fun viewing experience.
I hadn't watched Alien in years, so when they walked in the room and saw the engineer, like, and the most iconic scene, I saw him. I'm like,
that looks super familiar.
Yeah, I was like, that reminds me of Alien like a lot.
And then
the eggs and the face huggers.
The name of the company should have been the giveaway. Yeah. Wayland something.
Yeah.
Wayland something.
Yeah.
I'm losing geek cred by the second. Back to the story. Quick,
back to the story.
Distraction.
So
Wayland Yutani. That's what it is.
But yeah, so classic xenomorphs back in. Did you know that the fourth Alien movie, I think it was Joss Whedon? Did you know that?
Writing it or
writing?
Really?
I just found that out.
Had no fucking clue. That's the one where they do all of the.
That's the one that everybody fucking hates.
They do all the Queen of Blades stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So spoilers for Alien 4, which no one watched, evidently.
I was like 25 years ago now.
But yeah. That's basically all we've got on that. Sigourney Weaver's character, there's going to be references to her and tie-ins to her. Prometheus 2, there's supposed to be a Prometheus 2 and 3, I believe, but...
we're lucky we're getting this one. There's not going to be any more.
Yeah, it's...
Because you know what's going to happen? It's going to fucking Prometheus all over again. You and I are going to like it, everyone else is going to hate it, and then Ridley Scott's going to be like...
I'm curious how it's even going to do at box office. I feel like the only ticket sales will be us. Because everybody saw the first one.
Okay, Geek Culture, if for anything else, will watch it just to go on Twitter and bitch about how much they hate it. I think it'll do good money. But the problem with it is not the money. I think it's just going to be critically fucking dude. People were mean about Prometheus. Like, yeah, it was brutal.
Well, we live in a fanboy society now, so
yeah,
it's just
it's depressing.
It's shit.
Speaking of depressing, Hugh Jackman. We have what now, like 2 more Wolverine appearances, I think. I think he's going to be doing Apocalypse in the standalone.
Yeah, he's got standalone. After the standalone comes out, he will have been Wolverine for 17 years.
That is freaking mind-blowing.
That is the longest movie run yet.
Really?
Yes. Apparently some people have thrown out the Star Wars characters, but they had a 34-year hiatus.
I don't count. He has had a continuous non-stop character run.
Yeah, and then the next closest one was Harrison Ford with Indiana Jones that had a 19-year hiatus. He has been 17 continuous years,
that is
no
crazy.
Hiatus.
Because it's like
you realize that if a kid was born the day the first X-Men movie came out, they are now 17 years old by the time he quits.
Now I feel old. Thanks, Dick.
Yep. So right now it's only been 15 years, but by the time the next standalone comes out, it'll have been 17 years. But
we are saddened by this. The Fox execs have to be shitting their pants figuring out what to do next.
Yes. Because he is not only Wolverine, he fucking owned that part. You know what I mean? He was very, very good.
To the point where they should retire the character, but it will not happen.
It will not happen,
because they could make fucking Zac Efron Wolverine, and it's going to make $200 million instead of $500 million.
Pretty much.
Because it's Wolverine.
But the reason Wolverine comes up in our notes is because Hugh Jackman gave an interesting interview. Basically, during the interview...
He's interviewing for Pan.
Yes. Yeah. They asked him who he thought should take over as Wolverine for him, and his initial response was, well, I actually hadn't thought about that, and no, I bet you didn't, because whoever takes over next is totally fucked. So, yeah, I bet you didn't give it much thought. But apparently he threw Tom Hardy's name out, which is already becoming very rapidly people's, like, well, you know, up there in their list of favorite actors.
Yeah,
I don't know that I agree, though.
The geek culture loves Tom Hardy, so they were just kind of throwing him up there.
Yeah.
The Hugh Jackman doing it kind of cemented his place as, you know... my opinion on it is they could do a hell of a lot worse, but he wouldn't be my, like, first or, you know, top couple.
The problem is I honestly don't know who I would pick.
What?
It would almost be better to go unknown, I would think.
Like they did with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
What did Hugh Jackman... Hugh Jackman, this made his career, was his role.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hugh Jackman, I mean, I'm sure he was in bits and pieces before that, but that made his career.
Yeah.
So it's like... The only way they have a chance of making it work is if it's an unknown. Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I'm just so... What worries me... And why Fox really needs Deadpool specifically and Gambit to hit is because if those can hit where they'll feel confident enough of bringing them both over into X-Men, maybe kind of band-aiding the loss of Hugh Jackman a little bit. But I don't see any way, shape, or form where within 5 years we don't have another Wolverine, and I just think it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would try to brainstorm with you and try to figure out a good Wolverine, but it would have to be an unknown.
I'm voting unknown. to be honest.
No one comes, and I love doing fan casting.
And if you have a career already, why would you even want to attempt? Because they're just gonna, whoever is first, I think it's gonna be the second Wolverine after Hugh Jackman that hits it big. Because I think whoever does it first after Hugh Jackman, no matter how good they are, is gonna get crucified. And then everyone will hate it so much that they could pick David Tennant or someone totally left field for it, and everybody will love it. Just because they're not the first guy.
Yeah, because they're not that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally think that's what's going to happen.
It's what's happening with Jared Leto's Joker right now.
Yeah.
Even before they released his stupid-ass tattoos, people were like... I mean, it was 7 years ago, but that Heath Ledger performance is the best performance we've ever seen in a comic book movie. So
that was crazy.
You are playing with fire.
Yeah.
And... people are freaking out about the Joker thing, and the Joker's had, 5 or 6 different incarnations, counting Mark Hamill's cartoon and video game run?
Yeah.
Well, we've had one Wolverine who did the longest run, have you said, of any character ever. So they're fucked. I wish I could be a fly on the wall listening to the Fox board members just talk about what to do.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure they're pissing their pants.
I feel like all the money's gonna be going to Deadpool and Gambit for a while. In our TV segment, as that wraps it up for our movie segment, you and I both really, really enjoyed this. I've got the sound off, so I'm just going to play it so we can see it as we talk. Jessica Jones had a second trailer.
Take my fucking money.
I know.
Take my fucking $8 right now.
Oh, dude, I love this trailer for so many reasons. One, we know she's going to have some powers, because it was up in the air if she's going to have some powers or not. Because of what she does with this fucking alarm clock here in a second.
Go watch the trailer on YouTube. It's 45 seconds long. It's amazing.
But the setup in the room tells you all you need to know about the character.
Yeah, she's got shit thrown all over her room. Her bed's unkempt. She's waking up at 3 p.m.
Yep. And
by the alarm, and she pulverizes the alarm clock.
There's empty booze bottles everywhere, and there's a bottle of booze on the nightstand behind the alarm clock, and whatever that personal tragedy is, they're going to make it brutal, I feel like.
I like the I like the idea of them going from Daredevil being, starting it off really grounded and then kind of slowly building up the superpowers for it. Because I actually didn't expect them to do her superpowers. I thought it was going to be because when Daredevil set the tone for all of the Netflix stuff, I thought that was the tone. This is adding another layer to it.
Yeah, no, I feel like they're kind of like how in their movies right now they're trying to take a turn, and Doctor Strange is going to be totally weird and off the wall. I was trying to really avoid saying strange. I feel like they're going to try to give each show their own flavor. Feel. Yeah, their own flavor. So you had the grounded one being Daredevil, and Jessica Jones, they're introducing us to a little bit more powers. So as we go further on, I don't know how crazy shit's going to get.
And they're also starting out Luke Cage in this. So we might be finding out pretty soon to what extent Luke Cage has powers. They have to have Iron Fist powers, because without Iron Fist powers, he's just lame Daredevil.
Yeah.
He's, because...
Iron Fist is supposed to be the fourth show, right?
Yeah.
And then the miniseries?
Well, I think...
the team up?
I think Daredevil hitting so big has kind of foobarred their scheduling for that. That's why it took us so long to get a Jessica Jones date.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might even... I think this is going to hit big, too. Where I think they're going to... Maybe not originally plan for that second season of that, but, people get... especially their David Tennant fix. People are going to be...
Oh, God.
People are going to be all over.
I cannot wait for Purple Man. Dr. Purple Man.
Take my fucking money. Yeah, speaking of taking my money, the shit do we not have a Batman Beyond movie?
I have no
idea. Sitting there. It's such a cool property. Have you ever heard a negative thing said about Batman Beyond in your life?
Nope.
And it's a geek culture thing.
Oh, yeah.
When does that happen?
And it did the inverse, right? It started out as a cartoon and hit so big it went into the comics.
Yeah,
it did the opposite of most everything else.
Because they did the fucking impossible of Batman Beyond. We do not fully appreciate what they had to do with that, because if you haven't listened, they had a really, really great featurette. I forget which of their like DVD sets it was on.
Yeah.
But they had like a round table of all of their creators, which were, Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, the usual suspects, Alan Burnett.
Paul Dini, the god that is Batman.
And what they had to do, because if you remember, they rebooted the animated series into like the new Batman Adventures when they revamped their costumes and stuff.
Right, the final season of it, right? The 4th season?
Yeah, they finished that, and they are all preparing to go into like season 2 of that. And they get the phone call, yeah, we're taking Batman in a new direction. Like, okay, we were still getting pretty good ratings and toy sales with this. Yeah, but we want better. We want it. You want it aimed at a younger audience.
Well, what happened was, didn't it move to WB Kids?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Isn't that what the thing was? I think that's what he was telling Kevin Smith on Fat Man on Batman. Was WB Kids came along, and then whoever it was that owned WB Kids moved it to WB Kids, and they needed it aimed at a younger audience, so they needed to revamp it, and they needed to reboot it. So
the first thing Bruce Timm here's...
Because I remember Paul Dini saying one thing I remember from the interview, Paul Dini saying is, kids only want to watch kids. And they're like, that's not what our ratings say. And they're like, kids only want to watch kids. They don't want to watch adults.
Yeah, I mean... That was the beginning of the end of cartoons.
Yeah.
But they get the phone call saying, we want it aimed at kids. So like, okay, like, are we making like, teenage Bruce Wayne's like, no, we want a new Batman. It's like, what? Because if you're gonna fuck with anyone, that is the easiest to make the entire geek world want to set your building on fire. You don't fuck with Bruce Wayne as Batman, you know? And then not only that, they go in and they create something that we're still talking about 20 years later.
Well, not only that, the way they did it was also a big middle finger to all the people that wanted them to reboot it, because they continued the same goddamn show that they had. The continuity and everything, it's just the next season, more or less.
Set in the future with and they made a new guy, Batman.
It's the same voice actors.
Yeah. And it's almost in a lot of ways they did it subtly, but it's darker than the animated series was. That they were so brilliant, that run they had with Superman. Not as much. It was good, but like what can you do with the Superman cartoon?
Yeah, there's only so much.
Batman animated series. And then Beyond and Justice League, what they did with that Unlimited, man, they had a run.
Yeah, they did.
Just ridiculous.
So
yeah, back after our 20-minute Batman Beyond featurette,
we had a story. Remember that?
Robbie Amell, most famously known as not Stephen Amell,
basically,
he is currently Firestorm in the CW. DC universe. Well, he was being interviewed at, I forget where the convention was, but basically someone kind of brought up, Batman Beyond, how do you feel about this working as a property? He was like, shit, dude, I want to be Terry McGinnis. He was like, a big fan of it. He had a few quotes I wanted to include too, where he seems like a genuinely funny guy, like his cousin, like Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
Who you wouldn't think about it from their characters, but they're genuinely funny guys. His quote was, I think the problem right now is because they have Batman going on. They won't make the Batman Beyond movie until I'm either too old to be Terry McGinnis, but by then I'm probably old enough to be crusty old Batman, so I'll just do that. It was, really... And then he ended it by saying, but I'm a huge fan of that idea. So
yeah. And, his point is pretty valid, because we have Batman on screen now. We're not going to have another Batman on screen until they're done with that.
He also had another quote I wanted to include, where he was basically saying, I think it was towards the bottom of the article, he brought up another good point too, that made me think of some of the other stuff the CW actually has going on. He was saying, I think the smartest idea for them to be able to do it would be, we don't need a $200 million blockbuster, just make it a $30 million movie.
Yeah.
Because, look at how good Flash looks, and they're making that on a shoestring budget at CW.
Oh, yeah.
You could easily make Batman
Season
Beyond.
2 may not be shoestring, but Season 1
was, and it looked good.
Yeah.
Especially for what they had going for it with their budget. So, hell yeah, dude.
Gorilla Grodd was entirely CG, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, it's just, come on, man. And if you're throwing, 30, 40, $50 million at it, you can even make that like a little side project where you could have them currently with Batfleck,
Yeah.
Because he's right in that there's no way in hell they're going to have two big budget Batman things going on. But
low budget.
Warner Brothers could easily, 30 million, 45, that's chump change for a movie for them.
I think a really smart move. You don't want it to interfere with Batman on the big screen. Put it on Netflix, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. I prefer my superhero stuff in episodic format anyway because it works better. It works better because that's how the comics work.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It's like, how good is the Kingpin on Daredevil compared to every villain they've ever done in any other movies not named Loki?
Marvel is notoriously bad with their villains.
Yeah.
And no pun intended on notoriously. But yeah, they're pretty bad at their villains. Basically, Loki is the only one they've ever spent any time on because they'd be crucified by the fans if they didn't.
People got to get their Loki fixed.
And that was all Tom Hiddleston that did that. Yeah, they had no intention.
Joss Whedon had no intention of making him the bad guy in Avengers 1 until he saw his performance. He's like, no, that guy's good. We're using him.
Yeah. So now my question to you is, how do you feel about Robbie Amell as Terry McGinnis?
I'm going to go back to a person we actually talked about. We might have even talked about it on an early episode, but my idea has always been Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I saw an image of him without his now famous, Jon Snow look with his long hair and beard, where he was clean shaven with short hair. I was like, he looks like the cartoon taken off the page. And people like to give Kit Harington shit because it's so funny. Everyone has nothing to say but good things about everything about Game of Thrones, but people love to shit on Kit Harington.
Yeah.
It's kind of shitty. Which, the dude's not Gary Oldman, but come on, you're not on Game of Thrones if you're not a good actor. Yeah. That's just the facts. Yeah. Look at that show has their 12th or 13th best character. That actor choice for it, the quality is better than most leads. It's ridiculous with that show.
Yeah, no, I disagree with a lot of the shit that he receives for no reason, in my opinion. But because his character is meant to be whiny, and I think a lot of the problem is his character in Game of Thrones, I think, is supposed to be a little bit younger than he is. Actually, I think that makes it weird, kind of like Carl in Walking Dead. It's just kind of awkward because Carl, Carl's like what, 21 now? So
no, he's 45.
So, and he's still playing like a 14-year-old. So it's getting strange.
And they refuse to get rid of his hat.
Yeah, I feel like his hat gets bigger every season too to make him look smaller. I feel like he's going to be the man in the yellow hat by the end of the run.
I appreciate the hat thing because he wore it in the comic for like fucking probably 120 issues, something like that. But
if you want to make $100 million, you have to nod to the comics. So
the dude's like 45 years old now. He doesn't need to wear the cowboy hat.
Honestly, as much as I like the idea of Kit Harington, I think I never considered Robbie Amell before for Terry McGinnis. And honestly, I think his personality a little bit in Flash would be pretty good as Terry McGinnis, to be honest with you. He looks like the part, and Kit Harington has this. Now, I know he's not one note. He's just basically known for the one role. But I know I look at him and see Jon Snow, which is kind of naive to the world and stuff. And Terry McGinnis has a record. He's not naive to the world. Yeah. He's a street punk. And I get that vibe more from Robbie Amell than I do Kit Harington. If Kit Harington, I get prep school, and Robbie Amell, he's too street to be Terry McGinnis.
That fucking author dude is never living that line down. You want to know what I just thought of though?
What's that?
If Robbie Amell, we've only known him for he's been on a couple other CW projects, but we've only really known him from Firestorm. Just like with Stephen Amell is a genuinely funny dude and is capable of being more comedic.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have that character going for him at the moment. If Robbie Amell is more capable of being funny, what do you think about him as Dick Grayson? Just looking at him.
Yeah, I like that idea too.
Yeah, he could be.
It'll never happen, either one. But
well, if it happened, he just wouldn't be called Dick because they just can't.
I still like the idea of Ricky Grayson.
Ricky Grayson.
Ricky Grayson.
He sounds like a late night from the 70s or something. Yeah, but
The Tonight Show with Ricky Grayson.
We should do commentaries of Batman Beyond.
I can't believe we haven't yet.
We need more Batman Beyond, because what a great cartoon. Thank you, Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, all of you.
Oh God, yes.
All of you guys for your genius. We've got one more bit of TV news to get through, and that is
I'm gonna leave this one to you since you know more about it.
Well, it's weird. I'm more familiar with it, but I have not seen as many of the movies as I should. But Amazon Prime won a bidding war for the next Jack Ryan project. They're actually turning into episodic format.
One thing I did not find was that an undisclosed amount. Do we know how much that they won it for? Usually when you hear bidding war, it gets ridiculous.
I bet it was pretty ridiculous, but we might not ever even get the specifics on it. But Jack Ryan, probably people are more familiar with it now because it wasn't the last movie just straight up called Jack Ryan.
Yeah, Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, I think.
That was
starring
with
Chris Pine.
Which, did you ever see that? It's a
Nope.
Very good movie. The villain was the Kenneth Branagh.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he was good. He was actually the director of it too. He was directing.
I was curious about it. I wanted to see it, but I never did.
If it's still on Netflix, we'll have to check it out one day. It was for a bit, but now that we want to watch it, it'll be gone. Because fuck Netflix. But, yeah, this is a character that they've been making movies on for freaking ever now. He's been played by Alec Baldwin. He's been played by Harrison Ford, Ben Affleck. Chris Pine was the most recent one. But yeah, I think this is the first time they'd ever really, really pushed a TV show for him, and I think it might even work better as a TV show because he had so many novels that is kind of a more episodic format.
Yeah.
Or at least it can potentially be displayed
and they kind of jumped around in his timeline, and what they intend to do is give him a separate storyline. The TV show would be unrelated, and it would be still set in the CIA, which is where his origins were and stuff. So I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. I'm just disappointed in the Amazon Prime thing, as I'm not a member.
Yeah, it's a shame.
And I don't know. I mean, are you?
No, I actually.
See, I don't know anyone that is.
Well, I think the problem, and I don't really understand.
Someone tweet me your password.
I don't really understand their thought process behind it because they will not allow you to pay monthly. You have to pay the $99, which is just kind of like why.
Yeah.
How many people are signed up for Netflix? Because that $8 a month.
That's $96 in a year.
Yeah, but
Amazon's more expensive.
But that $8 a month, you're like, I can handle $8 a month.
Yep.
$99 a year, on the other hand, just as a salesman pitch is harder to pull off. I don't like it's Amazon. They shit $100 bills, dude. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
I did sign up for there was one show that they ran. I think it's about to be going into its second season. I watched it when I had I think they give you a free month.
Yeah. I
went and signed up for the free month just because I wanted to watch the show Vamp Run. I'm gonna try to figure out the name of it.
I really don't know what to say about that. I don't know anything about it. I've seen the Sum of All Fears, but that's all about all I've seen. I never saw Hunt for Red October.
Since that had Ben Affleck in it, were you rooting for the nuclear bomb? Was that what was going on? Fuck it.
I saw it more from Morgan Freeman. I'm pretty sure he was in that, if I recall correctly.
They have a lot of shows going on Amazon Prime. It is, like you said, depressing that they will not go away from that price model, because I would like to be a member of it, but
I would like to see this show. Maybe after it's been on for a little bit, it'll eventually hit Netflix. I don't know.
I don't know. They are picky too about not letting their shit go anywhere outside of Amazon.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. If for whatever reason we're able to get a hold of it, though, we will be interested in checking it out.
I think the simple explanation is as a company, if you get big enough, you just eventually, don't want to make money anymore. That's what I think it boils down to.
It's freaking frustrating though when they what's the name of it? Transparent. Have you heard of that show at all?
No.
That's their big hitter, starring the dad from Arrested Development, where they've even been winning Emmys and shit off of that one. I haven't seen it though, but yeah, they're starting to get bigger. Hopefully, they don't get too much more up their own ass, where they will be willing to throw it over the Netflix or something. I don't know. Probably not, because Amazon comes off as a douchebag company to me.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
and it sucks too, because they have a lot of stuff that I want. So
yeah, it's fucking Amazon. Yeah, we're gonna move over to. We have a couple of gaming stories to get to, and the first one is that TBS. This article was surprising to me. They are planning a Counter-Strike league for 2016. Basically, make it kind of like a reality esports show.
Yeah,
which. Esports is a big thing right now. It's even over on ESPN occasionally. I totally get that, but why Counter-Strike? That was odd to me. Why not go out of your way for Call of Duty or something?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it was. The article doesn't say why they picked what they did.
The only thing I can think of is, since this is TBS we're talking about, and it's not one of the bigger broadcasting networks, is maybe Activision with Call of Duty or Battlefield with EA. Maybe they're in talks with like the more heavy hitters
companies,
and Counter-Strike is an older but still recognizable brand.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to start airing sometime in 2016, like you said. It's going to invite the best Counter-Strike teams from across the world to participate in a 10-week long season, competing against each other. But the article says that they do not know when it's going to start exactly, but they do know that it's a Friday night event for TBS. So I don't know. That's just odd to me. Personally,
are you interested in watching esports?
Not particularly.
It doesn't really interest me either.
Yeah.
A lot of people will go and watch the Evo tournament and stuff, where it's like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat tournaments. Like, that is zero interest to me for whatever reason.
I mean, as big a fan of Blizzard as I am, I don't watch any of the StarCraft stuff or.
It's weird like too, because I like watching Let's Plays of certain Let's Players. Yeah. But
when you get to esports, it's almost like watching chess.
That's true. It is kind of apples and oranges when you get right down to it, because I don't know, maybe I like the commentary aspect of it, where some of these, it's cool how it's like a league and it's a TV show type setting, but I do not understand why anyone goes to Twitch and watch someone play a video game silently. That I don't get.
And that's, I assume since they're doing this as an esport platform that there's going to be like commentators and stuff. I don't know. I didn't watch any of the ESPN stuff, but I imagine that's what they're going to be mirroring.
I want them to finally get around to making ESPN the Ocho, where it's just all esports. They're eventually going to have to just make a separate ESPN channel for esports, because people get so pissy when they flip over to ESPN
and it's a video game.
God, sports fans just want to punch a baby when that happens. It's ridiculous. But yeah, speaking of...
OB Expletives does not condone the punching of babies.
Speaking of making Jeff want to punch babies...
Again, not condoned by the OB Expletives, says our lawyers.
The views of Ron are not reflected by Jeff's sayings. Fucking... God damn it, Ron.
Another one.
God fucking damn it. You know what EA does? Instead of making games that function correctly on opening day, building motherfucking theme parks. Like, what was the last one? Was it Ubisoft?
Ubisoft.
Fuck.
In Malaysia, at that.
I don't want to load up fucking Battlefield or Battlefront on opening day and have it not work because motherfuckers are designing fucking... Fuck. God, this irritates me. You are a fucking video game company known for shit not working correctly at launch.
They're just bypassing virtual reality and going to reality. And I don't get it. I really don't. EA is collaborating with California's Great America on a Mass Effect theme park attraction, said to be a 4D holographic attraction. So here's what they have actually described the ride as. Riders will climb aboard motion-based seating and wear 3D glasses as they're taking on a thrilling adventure. A live performer will curate the journey and appear to interact seamlessly with the next-generation 3D visuals. These elements will be integrated with motion seating, high-tech sound, and other 4D effects to create a truly compelling and immersive attraction. Guests will travel through space to a distant planet, and face off against bigger-than-life adversaries, which will ultimately help save the day. You know what this sounds to me a lot like?
Garbage.
Besides that.
What?
Did you ever go to, was it Universal? Or was it one of the Disney parks?
I've never been to any of the major theme parks, actually.
Had the Terminator thing.
Do
you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
It was like a 3D Terminator thing. I feel like that's exactly what this is.
You know what it's actually going to be? Is you're going to pay $60 to enter the ride and have to pay another $10 to get a pass to actually get on the motherfucking ride.
Yeah, I don't know. Basically, it just sounds like you're sitting there watching a screen. You're not really even doing anything.
It's like Twitch the ride.
Yeah, basically. You just have a guy with some asshole with a microphone in front of the ride and a screen with 3D effects, and that's it.
My biggest, I don't have just an out and out hatred of fucking theme parks or whatever, or them trying to cross brand into other vendors or whatever to make more money.
Branding.
But if that company doing it was, Rockstar or CD Projekt Red, the companies that make games that typically actually work.
Yeah.
It's stuff like this that pisses me off. Freaking the last Assassin's Creed, you couldn't even play the game for like more than 5 minutes without it crashing or you fall into the map.
Yeah.
When's the last time you heard of a Battlefield game actually come out and work online?
I don't think I've ever heard of one working
or
day of.
Was EA also part of the origin thing for Sims?
Yep. Sim City.
They're sure as shit not making sure Sims works.
My wife got caught up in that mess. She had Sim City and it was online only and you couldn't get online.
I mean, I hate EA to begin with, so this one pisses me off more so than the Ubisoft one.
Yeah. Because
EA at every turn is
EA,
a douchebag.
What other properties do they have? Just all sports and Sims, right? Could you imagine a Sims theme park? Just go home.
Just go home.
At least Ubisoft, you could jump into a haystack or something, and knife someone in the face.
You could jump off a 5-story building and magically be saved by a haystack, except that's not what happens. Yeah. Oh, okay. Like the thing that the video game industry managed to get away from because they just had so much flack about it, and the new consoles kind of killed it. Do you remember the whole $10 thing? It was like called Project $10, where EA almost single-handedly shut down used games because they were starting up the whole thing where if you want to play this game online, you have to pay an extra $10 if you buy it used. Do you remember any of this?
No, I do not.
They were pushing that shit hard. And
EA does anything they can to piss off people that buy their games.
Yeah, it's fucking depressing. They are, and it's like, but
then what are you going to do? They have so many popular video game franchises. It's just...
It also kind of disappoints me, too, because I wish that freaking EA... Okay, I'm a football fan.
Yeah.
EA is the only company that has licensing to do NFL games.
So I was going to say, they have the market cornered on sports games.
So it's like... When you are the only company that can do an NFL game, you have no justification to make your game any better.
Yeah.
All it is every year is a roster update to make the players on their current team and a slight graphical upgrade. Every 5 years they have
and people still buy it every year.
And people buy it every year just because it's Madden.
Yep.
So
they make a killing off of it.
What justification do they have to get off of their ass even a little bit? None. Fuck them. Before I have a fucking aneurysm, I think we need to sign off today, Ron. I'm going to let you do the sign off today. I need to go check my blood pressure.
All right. On that note, if you'd like to check us out more, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TWE. That's all, folks. At TWBE Podcast.
I let you drive one time.
I will turn this podcast around. Or like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TWBE Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to check out our Let's Plays.
Let's Plays.
Our podcasts are also uploaded to there if you would like. Also, go into iTunes and leave us a 5-star rating, and we're also available on Stitcher.
Yeah, what Ron said.
I think I covered it all right.
Go check out Dark Souls. I think people that manage to check out that are going to be entertained by our...
No, they're going to fucking hate us because, you know, they're all like pros at Dark Souls by now. And
yeah.
Then there's me.
I'm still waiting for...
Then there's me playing Dark Souls trying to play The Witcher.
I'm still waiting for us to get like that one YouTube commenter who all he does every day is get on and start arguments with us specifically. He's like, we have a video up, one dislike, one commenter, that dude. I can't wait to have that dude actually watching our channel.
You, sir, are crazy.
I want to get in arguments with the YouTube commenters.
I know you do.
Bring on the hate.
That was your whole goal for starting this podcast.
Give in to your hate. All right, guys. Thank you for checking us out. I am Jeff.
I'm Ron.
And we will see you next week.